K-drama Haven family, there are reunions that feel sweet. There are reunions that feel nostalgic. And then there are reunions that feel so powerful, so cinematic, so utterly inevitable that they stop the entire internet in its tracks. That is exactly what happened when Dylan Wang and Shen Yue, the beloved duo of Meteor Garden, finally came face to face again. And what unfolded wasn't just a meeting. It was history. The Meteor Garden legacy. To understand why this moment shook the world, we have to go back. Back to 2018. Back to when Netflix's Meteor Garden wasn't just a drama. It was a cultural earthquake. Dylan Wang, a fresh face with no major roles at the time, burst onto the screen as Dao Mingxi, the fiery, arrogant yet tender-hearted leader of F4. His charisma was undeniable. His smirk was dangerous. His vulnerability? Devastating. And then there was Shen Yue. With her radiant innocence, her warmth, her quiet strength, she embodied Shan Kai like she had stepped straight out of the pages of the manga. Together, they weren't acting. They were living. Every fight, every tear, every kiss, every smile. Fans didn't just watch their story. They lived it. Meteor Garden made me believe in love again. They weren't just characters. They were my comfort during my hardest days. That is the power Dylan and Shen Yue created. And it is why their reunion meant so much. The years apart. But after Meteor Garden's final episode aired, reality sank in. Both stars had careers to build, paths to walk, stories of their own to tell. Dylan soared into fantasy epics like Love Between Fairy and Devil, becoming a global heartthrob with his brooding intensity. Shen Yue explored light-hearted romances and heartfelt dramas, her gentle charm winning over audiences again and again. And while they succeeded apart, fans never stopped asking, when will they meet again? Will we ever see Dylan and Shen Yue together on screen? The wait stretched from 1 year to 2 to 5. And with every passing day, the yearning only grew stronger. The gala night. Then came that night in Shanghai. A glittering gala. A stage filled with the biggest names in the industry. Red carpets. Paparazzi. Fans pressed against barricades, holding up posters and flowers. The energy was electric. But when the announcer's voice rang through the hall, everything changed. Please welcome Dylan Wang. The crowd roared. Cameras flashed. Dylan walked in, tall, elegant, every inch the superstar he had become. His sharp suit shimmered under the lights, his signature charisma commanding every glance. And then, only minutes later, please welcome Shen Yue. The hall erupted, because suddenly, the past and present collided. There she was, Shen Yue, dressed in a flowing pastel gown, soft as morning light, her smile as warm as ever. And just like that, the universe placed them side by side once more. The moment of contact. The first seconds were subtle. A bow. A polite smile. A quiet hello. But for fans, it was as though time itself froze. Because when Dylan's eyes locked on Shen Yue, his expression softened, in a way fans hadn't seen since 2018. Because Shen Yue, shy and radiant, laughed in that familiar way that felt like Shan Kai was suddenly standing before us again. And then their hands brushed. It was fleeting, barely a second, but the crowd gasped. Cameras zoomed in. Fans screamed. That wasn't just a greeting. That was history repeating itself. I felt my teenage years flash back in an instant. Dao Mingxi and Shan Kai are alive again. The internet in flames. Within minutes, the clips went viral. On TikTok, edits of the reunion were set to the Meteor Garden soundtrack, bringing fans worldwide to tears. On Weibo, the hashtag Dylan Wang Shen Yue reunion surpassed 1.2 billion views within 24 hours. On Twitter, X, global fans trended. My youth is complete again. Comments poured in by the millions. This is not just nostalgia. This is healing. They didn't just reunite. They reminded us what love stories are supposed to feel like. I don't care how, I don't care when, I need them in another drama together. It wasn't just trending. It was a phenomenon. Behind-the-scenes whispers. And then the whispers began. Entertainment insiders claimed that producers had been waiting for this moment, waiting for the perfect time to bring Dylan and Shen Yue back together. Now, after this reunion, negotiations were already in motion. Some whispered about a Meteor Garden sequel, a 10 years later story where Dao Mingxi and Shan Kai navigate adulthood and parenthood. Others spoke of a brand new drama, a sweeping modern romance, or even a fantasy epic pairing Dylan's intensity with Shen Yue's grace. One insider leaked to media. The industry knows this. If Dylan and Shen Yue reunite on screen, it won't just be a drama. It will be history in the making. The global response. The reunion wasn't just a moment in China. It rippled across the world. In the Philippines, TV anchors called it the greatest reunion in Asian drama history. In Indonesia, fans gathered in cafes to rewatch Meteor Garden together after seeing the viral clips. In the US, Netflix fans trended. Forget Hollywood couples. Dylan and Shen Yue are the reunion of the decade. Even celebrities joined in. Other K-drama and C-drama actors commented on the reunion, calling it beautiful, surreal, and a gift to fans. Why it mattered? Because this wasn't just about nostalgia. It was about something deeper. For fans who grew up with Meteor Garden, Dylan and Shen Yue weren't just actors. They were the faces of their youth, the memories of their first crushes, the hope of love against all odds. Seeing them together again, smiling, laughing, existing in the same frame, was like reopening a time capsule. It healed. It inspired. It reignited old dreams. The future awaits. And so now, the world waits. Every new post from Dylan, every quiet update from Shen Yue, every photo becomes breaking news. Are they preparing for a reunion project? Is the industry already building a drama that will define a generation? No one knows for certain. But what we do know is this. The reunion we've all been waiting for has finally happened. And if Dylan Wang and Shen Yue return to our screens, it will not just be another drama. It will be a worldwide event. The rumors take shape. Insiders began leaking hints. First, whispers of a brand new drama, a modern love story about two people who drift apart only to meet again years later. Then, a bolder claim. They're in talks for a Meteor Garden sequel, 10 years later. At first, fans dismissed it. It sounded too good to be true. But then, Shen Yue posted a simple photo on Weibo, a flower pressed against an old script. Caption: some stories never really end. The internet lost its mind. Is this a Meteor Garden reference? She knows what she's doing. Don't play with our feelings, you. This can't be coincidence. The press conference bombshell. 1 week later, an announcement shook the entertainment world. An official press conference. Both Dylan Wang and Shen Yue on the invite list. The project? Undisclosed. Fans flooded hotels, airports, and live stream platforms. And then the day arrived. Dylan walked in, sharp in a black tailored suit. Cameras exploded. Shen Yue followed, glowing in a soft pink dress that seemed straight out of a dream. The tension was unbearable. And then the host smiled and said the words fans had been waiting years to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to announce. Dylan Wang and Shen Yue will star together again. The hall erupted. Journalists screamed questions. Fans sobbed in the audience. The live stream crashed from sheer volume. Shen Yue, her voice soft but steady, said, "This story, it feels like coming home." And Dylan, pausing, his voice almost breaking, added, "Working with Shen Yue again isn't just acting. It's fate." The world reacts. The internet didn't just react. It exploded. On Weibo, the announcement crossed 2 billion views in under 24 hours. On TikTok, fans edited Dylan and Shen Yue's new press clips with the iconic Meteor Garden rooftop kiss. On YouTube, reaction videos from around the globe trended, fans crying, screaming, some even fainting on camera. This isn't just a drama. It's a cultural reset. I don't care about Oscars. This is the project of the decade. My teenage heart is alive again. Dylan and Shen Yue, thank you. Even K-drama stars congratulated them publicly, saying the reunion was proof of the timeless power of Asian drama. Behind the scenes, a promise. During interviews after the press conference, Dylan and Shen Yue revealed a glimpse of what brought them back together.
Shen Yue shared.
We've both grown so much as actors. I wanted our reunion to mean something bigger than nostalgia. Dylan added, looking at her with a quiet smile. When you create a story that touched millions, you don't walk away forever. Some stories demand to be finished. Fans cried reading the quotes, because it wasn't just about acting. It was about destiny. Fan reactions turn into a movement. Fans across the globe organized watch parties to rewatch Meteor Garden together while waiting for the new project. In Manila, over 500 fans gathered in a cinema to stream the reunion press conference on a giant screen. In Jakarta, murals of Dao Mingxi and Sean Kai appeared overnight. In Los Angeles, fans projected clips of the reunion onto buildings in Koreatown. It wasn't just fandom. It was history repeating itself, louder, bigger, unstoppable. A glimpse of tomorrow. At the very end of the press event, just as the cameras were about to switch off, Dylan leaned toward Shen Yue. Not a whisper, not a scripted line, but loud enough for the microphone to catch. Ready to make history again? Shen Yue smiled, the same soft, radiant smile that once melted Dao Mingxi's arrogance in Meteor Garden. Always. The hall went silent for a heartbeat, and then thunderous applause shook the room. The legacy reignited. Because this isn't just about a drama. This isn't just about actors. This is about a generation that grew up, drifted apart, and somehow found its way back to the magic that first made us believe in love. The reunion we've all been waiting for is no longer just a moment. It is a beginning, a promise, a legacy reignited.